But yeah, I always have a smile on my face, and because life is good. You know what I mean? Like, especially the life that we were living. Like we're going out, hanging out, doing music. You know, dancing.
Yeah.
Listening to house music. You know
Yes.
what I mean? Like,
This is yeah. I was like thinking about like the difference between my life when I was in the hip hop in the 80s and early 90s versus what it
right,
was like when I got in the techno and house music, and it was my life got so much easier.
right, right. Like 10 times easier.
Yeah,
You know.
man. It was like crazy, and I never want to go back. And so yeah, I definitely understand. Like it, like once I started going to raves and all that, like things just calmed down a lot or whatever, right? So now with the ladies, right?
Right, with the ladies. First of all, with the ladies, back in the '90s, back when I moved to Philly, and we were hanging.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta understand, I was like what, 26, 27.
Mm-hmm.
I was traveling the world. Like I was out of my mind talking to girls at that time. Like it was just like, you know, like I mean, of course, I'm not single now.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have kids and all that, but I was wild there for a couple years, like a few years. Like it was just, it was hard not to get carried away.
Yeah.
So like I'm sure I tried to talk to a whole lot of chicks in Philly, but you live and you learn.
You live and you learn or whatever. Do you have any regrets about this?
Um, well, look, I love my life now. I have amazing kids and a great, fiance and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But like, there's a couple ladies that, I probably like could have just kept around or been like, oh, like made it. There are a couple ladies that were like awesome.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And after a while, I was like, oh man, why did I break up with her?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there are a few that I probably did wrong.
Yeah.
Like or like cut it off short early. Just because it was like, oh well, I don't want to get into such a serious relationship.
Right.
And they were awesome girls.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna name any names.
Of course not. Of course not. But it was.
There are a couple.
Yeah. And the thing is, so back in these days or whatever, being around all you guys or whatever, I used to think that I was trying to be the antithesis of you guys. Like,
okay,
of what it was to be like, huh?
Unless the redhead came around.
Unless the redhead came around, then all bets were off. Then all bets are off. Yeah, but
do you still have crushes on redheads?
Yeah. Of course, man. Like, this doesn't go away. This is like, this is life. This is a compulsion that can't be exercised. But I used to think that that I was like trying to be above things or whatever, or like I was like into like preserving my reputation, and because like everybody thinks like or at least is back at that in those days, like every DJ was like always with every girl, and like which is kind of the truth or whatever, right?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, I'm not just talking about you. I'm saying like this is what it was, man. It's and
Yeah, I think so. Back then, yeah.
yeah,
I mean, not every DJ, but a lot. That
yeah,
was the reputation
yeah,
for
yeah,
most DJs.
yeah. So I thought I was like, is that a B? No. So I was just like, I want to make sure, when I talk to a girl that she knows that I'm interested in her mind and, her as a person and that I don't want to just, but the fact of the matter is I was scared, man. Like, and, and I realized there can be no hesitation when around you guys. You know?
Yeah, I remember. I remember one time you saying like, "Yo, before I talk to a girl, I gotta check to see if DC has already went out with her or not."
Yeah, of course.
Damn, dude. I was like, "Am I hitting on that many chicks?"
Yes. This was part of the reasons. Like, I got to get out of Philly, man. Like, I was like, it's just between like, this our little crew, which was already had a good section of the city covered, and then there was like some other DJs or whatever that was definitely getting around or whatever. And I remember when I had my big breakup and everything, and I was just like, all right, just because she started dating somebody that I knew who was also like a DJ and everything, and
Right.
I was like,
Right.
oh, I'm going to try to like not, I don't ever want to do this. I don't want to date like somebody that dated anybody else. And then I had to adjust it to be like, okay, it can't be more than four, and it's got to be like somebody in between that I don't really know that well because it was just like too much overlap in Philly at this time or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, but this was like when I started like getting the idea that I think it was time for me to leave. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Just because I wasn't.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
How was Montreal? Like.
Well, Montreal was a little bit different for me because I think actually it was kind of the same. I just didn't know it was the same. Like
Right.
Only because like once I moved out of Philly and I started talking to like some of the old girls that I used to hang around with that I was friends with. I started to realize, like, oh, these girls weren't trying to be my friend. I just, like, slept on, like, I wasn't realizing that they were interested in me, man. And I'm, like, thinking back on so many, like, times that, like, girls are over my house, and I was like, Hollis, like, what were you thinking, man? Like, she didn't come here to watch Ally McBeal with you, like.
Right.
So yeah, so I just didn't realize what was going on, but and plus I didn't really like, I didn't know like what people thought of me at the time, you know what I mean? Like, so when I got to Montreal, this is when I started like encountering people that knew me through the music.
Right.
So, but in Philly, I'm coming at like everybody is like doing crazy things in Philly. Like everybody is big, you know what I mean? Like, so I didn't think that I was anybody special, So, but I later came to find out that I had like a little bit like people thought that I thought I was like too good for everybody, and that's why I wasn't like really like getting with the people that I could have got with. They thought I was like stuck up or something or didn't or something. But this is what they were telling me. I don't know. But
okay. All right. I never thought you thought that, but
yeah, well, I didn't. It's not that I didn't think this. I think this was just like a mistake, like because I was a DJ and I was hanging out with y'all and everything like that. I guess they thought like, of course he's doing all of this what they doing and so I guess I was making people feel like they weren't good enough for me. You know what I mean? But the reality was I was just scared. You know what I mean? Like I was like, I just didn't know any better. But when I got to Montreal, like this, it's a much different city for one thing, and like the women there are like much more assertive, you know,
Okay.
and they're more like
so girls.
Huh?
Girls were coming over to watch Ally McBeal, but then they'd be like, "All right, I'm not here to watch Ally McBeal."
Exactly. They're like, Ally McBeal is canceled. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah. And but even just like, I mean, when a girl liked you, she didn't like. She just let me know. You know what I mean? When she liked me, she just let me know. And it was like even on the street, like girls will look at you hard. Like, yes, I am looking at you. You know, like. Come over here, you know what I mean? At least that was my experience. And then you just add on top of it when other people found out about like the music that I had made and all of that. Then
Right.
that just added to it, you know what I mean? So it made for good times in Montreal, and it's kind of similar here in Berlin, but I actually it's well. No, everybody here is like a techno legend. Everybody, like, so
Okay.
it's like it's not such a big deal here, but like it's still. But I mean, we're just living in more open times in general now. So,
Right.
and I think I've gotten a little bit more like confident. My priorities have shifted, and I'm enjoying my life now. Maybe the way that I might have in the '90s is more like what it is now. So like, yeah, I can't really complain, but it was definitely like different in Montreal for me.
Okay.
And then I realized I can't come back to Philly because I feel like I don't have the skills or whatever to like if I just wouldn't want to be single in Philly, man. Like it's just like
It's not about skills. Like if you like, see that was my thing. Just like you said, if a girl likes you, they'll let you know.
Mm-hmm.
My whole thing is if I like somebody, I just want to let them know, like. Because I mean, sometimes in Philly, you see a girl and she's really cute, and you don't ever see her again. Like, she might be in a totally different scene. It might be somewhere where you don't go out. She lives in South Philly. She hangs in South Philly. I happen to see her around Rittenhouse, and if I didn't give her a flyer, talk to her, like I won't see her again. Right. I don't know. Like back then, I was just like, hey man, if I see somebody I'm interested, I'm gonna let them know. Yeah. They could be like, oh, whatever, and then okay, at least I tried.
Right. But that's the thing. That's like the no hesitation part. Like this is like sometimes you only have one opportunity to make, an impression or whatever.
And then if you do, it's like the most awesome thing in the world. It's like damn.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah, man, that was like really, really interesting times.
They were great times, man. Like, what?
And that's not to say that I didn't have any fun, but, I definitely...
Oh, you had tons of fun. What are you talking about? You were always smiling. Like, come on, man.
Yeah. It was good.
They loved you. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.